Samantha, I have to say, this was one of the most nauseating, horrible things I've ever had to listen to.
Meghan Markle's sister, Samantha Markle, is not backing down.
Samantha Markle just filed new court documents that could fundamentally challenge Meghan Markle's most public statements about her childhood. The half-sister's defamation lawsuit isn't just family drama anymore. It's become a legal examination of one of Meghan's most repeated claims that she grew up as an only child. Court filings obtained by multiple outlets show Samantha has submitted school records, family photographs, and witness testimony that directly contradict Meghan's Oprah interview statements. But this case raises bigger questions than just sibling rivalry.
She lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling.
When public figures reshape their personal narratives for sympathy or branding, where's the line between creative storytelling and potential defamation? The legal battle unfolding in federal court could set precedent for how celebrities can describe their family relationships without facing legal consequences. Stay with me, because what's happening in this courtroom reveals as much about modern celebrity culture as it does about the Markle family dynamics.
We record this. Samantha Markle and Meghan Markle's attorneys are duking it out in Atlanta because Samantha wants the appeals court to see in her favor that she can move forward with her defamation case. So
I'm going to let you see our children if you behave in a certain way and we can control the landscape. I mean, it was like really sick and contrived. And I think he got to the point where, excuse my French, BS.
To understand why this legal case matters beyond typical family disputes, we need to examine the specific statements that triggered Samantha's lawsuit.
Just got a whole load worse for Meghan Markle, because her sister Samantha ain't going anywhere. With new headlines in the US about this bombshell new court battle taking place next month. $75,000 lawsuit after the 44-year-old told Winfrey that she grew up as an only child during her and Prince Harry's bombshell March 2020.
During Meghan's March 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey, she made several claims about her childhood that became central to her public narrative. She stated, "I grew up as an only child," and described feeling isolated and unsupported during her upbringing. These weren't casual comments. They were televised to 50 million viewers worldwide and became foundational to Meghan's story of overcoming adversity. The statements positioned her as someone who achieved success despite having no family support system. Samantha Markle filed her defamation lawsuit in federal court, arguing these statements were factually false and damaged her reputation.
Horrible things were said about me that weren't true. And, even though it's not defamation item by item, all things taken together.
Her legal team contends that Meghan's characterization of growing up alone was deliberately misleading. The case raises significant legal questions about celebrity speech. Can public figures be held liable for how they describe their family relationships? What's the difference between subjective experience and objective misrepresentation? Federal courts have typically been reluctant to intervene in family disputes, but this case involves public statements that reached massive audiences and potentially influenced public perception. The stakes extend beyond monetary damages. If Samantha prevails, it could establish that celebrities can't simply reshape their family history for public consumption without legal consequences. But the evidence Samantha has presented goes deeper than most people realized. According to court documents filed in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida, Samantha's legal team has submitted 3 categories of evidence challenging Meghan's only child narrative. School records from their shared childhood show both sisters were enrolled in the same school district during overlapping periods, with documentation of shared family contacts and emergency information. These aren't opinion-based claims, they're administrative records maintained by educational institutions. Family photographs submitted as evidence show Meghan and Samantha together at various family gatherings, holidays, and everyday moments spanning several years of their childhood. The images appear to document a more connected relationship than Meghan's public statement suggested. Witness testimony from family, friends, and relatives has been provided through sworn affidavits describing interactions between the sisters during their youth.
Motive for writing family off because it would seemingly justify and perhaps delay the revelation of all of the lies that she had told the royal family.
Multiple witnesses have stated they observed the sisters together regularly during family events and everyday activities. Meghan's legal team has responded by arguing that her statements represented her subjective experience rather than literal facts. They contend that Meghan's feelings of emotional isolation shouldn't be subject to defamation claims, even if she had biological siblings present. This defense raises complex questions about the difference between factual statements and personal interpretation. Can someone's subjective feelings about their childhood be legally challenged if they don't align with documented evidence? The federal judge overseeing the case will need to determine whether Meghan's statements constituted factual claims subject to verification or protected expressions of personal experience. If you're still watching, you need to understand how this legal precedent could change celebrity accountability forever. The case took a significant turn when Samantha's attorneys argued that Meghan's statements weren't just personal reflections, they were strategic narrative building that damaged other family members' reputations.
Cited violence against me. It hurt it was a character assassination and damaging to me in a lot of ways. And so I don't, it's not like she came out and publicly said things.
Legal filings show Samantha's team contends that Meghan's only child claims were part of a broader pattern of family erasure designed to enhance her victim narrative for commercial purposes. They argue these statements directly led to Samantha receiving negative public attention and harassment. The commercial implications are substantial. Meghan's story of overcoming isolation and lack of family support became central to her brand development, speaking engagements, and media deals worth millions of dollars. Court documents suggest Samantha's legal strategy focuses on demonstrating that Meghan profited from a narrative that falsely excluded her sister's existence.
Here's the difference. I don't have the power to pay a PR house and television shows and magazines to put out articles about her. I don't have the power to combat the articles that are false that are put out there about me and about my dad. She does. And so there's no one on this planet.
This transforms the case from personal hurt feelings to potential commercial fraud. The defense strategy has evolved as well. Meghan's attorneys now argue that celebrity autobiography traditionally involves narrative compression and selective storytelling. They contend that holding public figures to strict factual standards for personal stories would chill protected speech. But here's where the case gets legally complex. Federal defamation law requires proving that statements were both false and made with actual malice, knowledge of falsity, or reckless disregard for truth. Samantha's team must demonstrate not just that Meghan's statements were factually incorrect, but that she knew they were false when she made them or acted with reckless disregard for their accuracy. This legal standard is notoriously difficult to meet, which is why many celebrity defamation cases fail. However, the documented evidence Samantha has compiled could potentially satisfy this burden. The twist that could determine the case's outcome involves private communications and whether any evidence exists showing Meghan knew her statements contradicted documented family history.
I don't think she's capable of empathy, remorse, or shame. I don't think she could feel enough to apologize.
Recent court filings reveal additional evidence that could strengthen Samantha's case while also highlighting the challenges she faces in proving defamation. Samantha's legal team has submitted her previously published memoir, The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister, as evidence supporting her version of their shared family history. The book, published before Meghan's Oprah interview, contains detailed accounts of their relationship that contradict Meghan's later public statements. This creates a timeline that could be legally significant. Samantha documented her perspective on their relationship before Meghan's contrary statements, potentially undermining arguments that she's simply responding to or contradicting Meghan's narrative. However, critics point out that family memoirs often contain subjective interpretations and selective memory. The mere existence of Samantha's book doesn't automatically validate all its claims or prove Meghan's statements were deliberately false. The case also faces challenges regarding Samantha's public profile before the lawsuit. Media coverage shows she had already been making public statements about Meghan and their family relationship for years. This could complicate arguments that Meghan's Oprah statements specifically damaged Samantha's reputation. Legal experts note that defamation plaintiffs must typically prove their reputation was actually harmed by the defendant's statements. If Samantha was already a public figure commenting on Meghan, demonstrating specific damage from the only child comment becomes more difficult. Additionally, First Amendment protections for celebrity speech create high barriers for defamation claims. Courts generally recognize that public figures engaging in biographical storytelling receive broad protection for their narrative choices. The case's outcome may ultimately depend on whether the judge views Meghan's statements as protected autobiographical expression or factual claims subject to verification. And what happens next could set precedent for celebrity family disputes nationwide. This case represents more than a family dispute. It's testing the boundaries of how celebrities can reshape their personal narratives in the social media age.
How low can you go?
Legal scholars are watching because the case could establish whether public figures can be held accountable for biographical claims that boost their brand but potentially harm family members. The precedent could affect how celebrities discuss their backgrounds in interviews, memoirs, and social media. The commercial implications extend beyond the Markle family. If Samantha prevails, it could open the door for other family members to challenge celebrity narratives that exclude or mischaracterize their relationships. This might fundamentally change how public figures approach biographical storytelling. However, a ruling in Meghan's favor could strengthen First Amendment protections for celebrity autobiography, recognizing that personal narrative involves subjective interpretation rather than strict factual reporting. The case also highlights how modern celebrity culture incentivizes dramatic personal stories. Meghan's narrative of overcoming isolation and family abandonment resonated with audiences and contributed to her commercial success. But it also potentially created legal liability by negatively characterizing living family members. Media law experts note that this case reflects broader tensions between traditional family privacy and social media culture, where personal details become content and family relationships become brand elements. The federal court's decision could influence how celebrities balance authentic storytelling with legal responsibility to family members who didn't consent to public characterization. Industry professionals are already advising clients to be more careful about family-related claims in interviews and memoirs, recognizing that emotional truth and legal truth aren't always identical. The outcome could reshape celebrity media training and legal review processes for biographical content. The Samantha Markle versus Meghan Markle case ultimately reveals the complex intersection between personal narrative, commercial branding, and legal accountability in celebrity culture. Regardless of the legal outcome, the case has already demonstrated that documented evidence can challenge even carefully crafted public narratives. Court filings show that school records, photographs, and witness testimony create factual constraints on biographical storytelling. The broader questions raised extend beyond the Markle family to fundamental issues about truth in celebrity culture. When does creative storytelling cross the line into actionable misrepresentation? How do we balance First Amendment protections with family members' rights to accurate characterization? The case also exposes how modern celebrity branding often relies on compelling personal narratives that may not align with documented history. Meghan's only child story served her commercial interests, but created legal vulnerability by contradicting verifiable family relationships. What makes this case significant isn't the family drama, it's the legal precedent being established for holding public figures accountable for biographical claims that affect others. Whether Samantha ultimately wins or loses, the case has already changed how celebrities and their legal teams approach family-related content in interviews and memoirs. The real revelation isn't about the Markle family dynamics. It's about how celebrity culture intersects with legal responsibility in the social media age. In federal court, subjective truth meets objective evidence, and the outcome could determine how celebrities navigate personal storytelling for years to come. But here's what I want you to think about. We all reshape our personal stories when we tell them. We emphasize certain details, downplay others, sometimes exaggerate for effect. It's human nature. So when does that natural storytelling impulse become something more problematic? Here's the question that's really dividing people. Should celebrities be held to a higher standard of factual accuracy when discussing their families, knowing millions will hear their words? Or does requiring strict truth from personal narratives destroy the very authenticity we claim we want from public figures? Drop your thoughts below. Are you Team Samantha, believing that documented facts should always trump personal feelings? Or Team Meghan, thinking that everyone deserves to tell their story from their own emotional perspective, even if others remember it differently? Because here's the psychological reality. Whoever you're defending probably says more about how you handle family conflict in your own life than about the legal merits of this case.